Okay, the way I'm going to be doing this channel is once it gets going on a regular basis, I'm going to be giving daily updates of what's going on live. But these first couple videos are going to be 100% just setting the history. I want to have a video log of what I did so I remember, also the costs and stuff. So I'm going to have screenshots of my computer with certain things and where my mind was when I was doing it and everything. So I kind of want to pick up where I left off yesterday. And this whole adventure started on April 5th, as you can see up here. On Amazon, I bought my first AeroGarden sprout. And then 3 days later, I bought an AeroGarden Bounty Basic. And the reason I bought these units was Amazon was having it was during Amazon days, I believe, and they were marked down pretty well. And I had friends that told me, hey, you might want to try grow your own herbs someday and all that. So I said, okay, let me do that. And as I said in yesterday's video, I started with lettuce in the Bounty Basic, and I started with herbs in the sprout. Well, the herbs crapped out and did no good. And what I did was the salad was growing great. In fact, after a couple of weeks, we were harvesting salad on a regular basis. And I did green lettuce, I did romaine, and I did just basic lettuces. So it was really good. There was a red lettuce in there too, the pods that it came with. What happened was a month later, after doing some reading, I decided to buy a couple of extra things. So as you can see on the screen here, I bought, on May 13th, I bought plant spacers covers because you don't want to leave any open pods. You can't plant all 9. You can't plant all 3. If you do that, you're going to run out of space. The plants are going to take over. So you have to cover up the open holes to stop from algae and mold getting in there. So I bought a couple of spacers, and then I bought another salad seed pot, and I bought an AeroGarden red and golden cherry tomato seed pot because I wanted to see if I could grow tomatoes. This other one I bought was a generic one, and as you can see here, maybe you can't see it, so I'll just read it off to you. It was a grow anything pot that had 8 pods, and it had seeds for cherry tomatoes, butterhead lettuce, romaine, spinach, mini cucumbers, and radishes. Okay, so what happened at the end of April is we were going to help my son move. So I was going to go away for a week. And it was just at a time that the lettuce was kind of run its course. And you'll know when it runs its course. The plants start going straight vertical. Some of the lettuce actually tasted a little bitter. So it was time to get it. So I was going to reset the garden when I left. So, in fact, it was at the end of May when this happened because we actually had a harvest from all of April into the middle of May. And then in May, I ordered these other things. And what I did when we went away was, and I'll go back over to the garden now because it kind of shows where I was yesterday. Here's the Bounty Basic. What I did was, after the herbs flopped out halfway through the salad, I moved 3 of the salad pods over to the Bounty Basic. And then I just put those white cover caps you can see there in the Bounty Basic. So I had 3 lettuce plants going great in the sprout, and I had 6 of them going in the Bounty Basic. Well, right before we left at our trip at the end of May, what I decided to do was I'm going to reboot the system. So I killed all the plants. There wasn't much life left of them anyway. And I reset. And what I did is I took that first variety pack, and as you can see in the sprout, I grew radishes in the back here, which are now gone, and I harvested. So I put a white cap in there, harvested and ate very good about a week ago. This is romaine lettuce, which I've harvested 4 times already, and I'll keep harvesting more. And then this big vine is my cucumber plant that's going. And as you can see, I've got flowers coming in all over the place. And once those go off, I'll have mini cucumbers there, which is nice. What I did at the same time when we went away is I planted 4 of the 5 holes I put in tomato plants. And what's interesting about tomato plants when you grow them indoors is because there's no pollination, when you start to see the flowers like that, you have to go in and shake the plant. So you go like this, you go like that, and it just pollinates the flowers. It'll pollinate the flowers direct. And you'll know you're doing your job when you start to see these tomatoes. So I have green tomatoes growing in. I have green tomatoes growing in over here. You can see more of them down there. Here's some more. So we'll just self-pollinate those. You can see some tomatoes coming in here. So at last count on these plants, and I have one small one back there because he's not getting enough light. He's one that I put in a little bit later. So I planted these cherry tomatoes, and the radish, lettuce, and cucumbers when I went to my son's. as an experiment. Let's see what happens. Well, when I came back, they were all sprouting real great. And like I said, I jumped ahead of the story, but now I have harvest going on all of them. So we have the tomatoes going here. At last count, there's about 25 mixed in there. We've got some cucumbers. It looks like we're going to get 4 or 5 out of this. And I'm getting lettuce going now, which was awesome. So I'm like, my head started to think, this is right in April. I'm going to go back to the computer now. And like I said, this is for me, so screenshots I'm not going to edit. I'm going to leave it just the way it is because I don't care. It's for me. What I decided to do was I started to ask myself a question. My question was, what if I tried to grow most of, if not all, my food at home? And I said, can I do it? Now, again, I'm vegan. You don't have to be vegan to do this, but I'm like, what can I do? I know I can grow lettuce. It looks like I can grow tomatoes. What else would I need? Well, I would need probably mushrooms and a bunch of other plants. So what I decided to do is do some research and see what's out there. And what I did was, if you look at my screen again, on May 27th, I decided to start growing my own bread. So I did some research on the bread makers out there, and I found an Amazon Basics programmable bread maker. It's awesome. I'll put a link somewhere down in the description. You can find it if you want to get it. It's amazing. It's one of the cheaper ones. It's only $70. I make bread 2-3 times a week. Fantastic bread. Any kind of bread you want, vegan. So you can see I also bought the yeast and I bought the flour. So I'm like, okay. This was at the end of June. So now it's time to get serious and say, what happens if I try to grow my own dinners and everything basically at home? So what I did was I researched, and I decided that I'm going to keep the 2 AeroGardens I have, but then I wanted to go into 2 other systems, which I'll explain as I go on. One is the Click and Grow system, and one is a North Spore mushroom machine. And I started to come up with a concept that I wanted to try and grow 100% of my food, but I knew that's probably not realistic. I knew right away there's no way I'm going to grow my own condiments. I'm not going to grow olives to crush olive oil. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make vegan mayonnaise. I'm not going to make chickpeas and crush them up into hummus. I wasn't going to make tofu and grow my own soybeans. So you had to be realistic. I mean, you would need so much area to do a bunch of the stuff you can't. So I'm like, what can I do? Well, I know I could do tomatoes. I know I could do lettuce. And I figured I could do mushrooms. And when I started to find these companies, I started to find some really good solutions, which is interesting. And I don't want to jump too ahead of the story, kind of stay where I'm at. So right around July 4th is when I started to lose my mind, or I got my revelation. And I decided, now it's time to see, can we make this happen? Can we make this happen? So the first thing I said is, I have to find a way to grow lettuce. That was the first thing. That's one I know I could do. But the problem with lettuce is you want to have a never-ending supply. So you have to stagger it. And I'm like, how am I going to do that? Well, I found this remarkable company called Click and Grow. And they have a 25-unit system, which I'm going to show you right now. And what this bad boy does, I'm going to show you right here. I only got it a month ago. Is it has 5 weeks of trays, okay? And what you do is you plant one, and then every week you pull out this one over here, the empty one, you slide everyone down. So after 5 weeks, you'll have a continuous grow of lettuce for yourself, more for the family. This one, by the time it's done in 2 weeks, will be this high. It'll be this high, it'll be all the way up here, it'll be nice and high. So, and then you'll have, and I've already harvested some lettuce off here because of the timing. So the interesting part about Click and Grow, I'm gonna go back a little bit so you can see how beautiful this unit is. There it is right there. The beautiful part about Click and Grow, it's different than a hydroponic system. They have their own proprietary dirt moss right here, which includes pods, the seeds, and best of all, the fertilizer. So the way this system works is a wick system. So as you look here, when I lift this up, there's no seeds, there's just water down there. So your entire upkeep on this is to add water about every 10 days. You leave on your germination tray. So this is your little dome. And as you can see, I'm already getting sprouts since Saturday. It's Tuesday. So, and then you just move them along. I bought these little tags, these little tags at Walmart, and I label what it is just so I know what I'm growing. But I was like, I think with this, I can tackle the lettuce situation. And I'm happy. It's working really good, and it looks great. It's an expensive unit. I will tell you that right now. We'll go over that in another video. But I wanted to give you where this started, the revelation of can I cook at home? And I don't want to spoil anything, but I can't cook 100%. But boy, it looks like I'm going to be able to cook about 90%. So I'm going to put this video up on the old interweb, and then I'll go into the next phase after this. Bye now.